I'm Angela Hazeltine-Pozzi, and I am the artistic director and lead artist and executive director of the Washed Ashore project. So the Washed Ashore project has been going for about 7 years now, and we started in 2010. And we calculate about 20 tons of garbage into about 70 sculptures. And we have 3 traveling exhibits that travel the country, and those are our ambassadors to the world to teach about marine debris. This is Steve the Weedy sea dragon behind me. These creatures are normally maybe about this big, and they live in Australia, and they are real. These are the medium-sized pieces, the pieces that are about arm length or half an arm's length. So I'm going to be accessing some of these things for building the body of the sea dragon. This is a great piece. I might need that one. So this might be a fantastic seaweed. This is going to be the base for the Weedy sea dragon. It'll be a little darker color like this. So these are lids for fishing totes. This is the most exciting. This is for a septic tank, I think. If I put these 2 pieces together, this just looks like one part of his body. Here we go. Okay, so it's been a week. I'm pretty pleased with where we are so far. This is kind of my model I've been working off of, and I kind of proportioned out the different sections of the body. And this is that great big septic system lid that I was excited about. It's just a weird variety of things. And basically what I did is I look at things and I try to cut them up into puzzle pieces that I know will fit together into something. And so I have to think ahead of time and have things cut up way ahead of time. It helps me to have lots of pieces to choose from. Once this base is done, I will do individual piecework that'll be screwed into this base. The strength is really important to us, that things last, so I have to make sure that these appendages are strong. A lot of piping through the middle here, and then there's metal shot through the pipes. And then up here we have what is the neck. We've got just a perfect thing. It's a wooden masonry Flowmaster. It's going to be the base for the head. And then this is, I think it's part of a shop vac vacuum. It's cone, like crazy looking head. I found this funnel that seems like it will just be perfect. When you're working on a face, you've got to look at symmetry. So anytime you get 2 of something, that's pretty exciting. So those will end up going into the head for sure. Looking for red and orange recognizables. It was an interesting challenge. It was really fun because I got to work with metal pieces, and I did a lot of cross bracing, and I did the whole thing from scratch, and that was fun. I see this as a lot of layers of things, so that there has to be the black is the base that I just built the frame out of, and then I'm going to have to put a mottled orange, red, purplish kind of thing underneath. And I'm going a little bit towards purple because it's a male, but also we have these big fish crate lids that we've cut into pieces. Here's the back side, which is a lot brighter. This is how I made the plates on the critter, is with strips of this. Daniel, our master plastic assassin, he's cutting these into curvy shapes so that we'll be able to layer those all together. These beautiful stripes in here seem to have a bit of an iridescence to them, and so I'm trying to figure out how to get that. And there's some purple cans out there, and there's some blue, and I'm thinking I might be able to play with that a little bit, but I also want recognizable things on top of that. So I've covered the structure with a mottled color scheme, and the reason I did this is so that it adds life and movement to to the beast's body. Had fun time with the helmets. We got several helmets here and a shoe that I've been saving for a very long time. I've been saving this piece for a really long time. And I found a way to use it. This right here is actually a silverware divider that I chopped up. So I still have a lot of work to do on this, but this is basically where we're headed. So this is all piecework done by volunteers in our workshop. And we've got seaweed fronds. These will be used around the base to add texture and growth. And then this is from the crates that I showed you earlier that we chopped up, and these are all wired together, and they're going to be coming up from the base as well. So I added these silvery parts in here so it gives the kind of the shiny and the wetness that I want to get. It'll reflect the light a little bit more. It was really important to me to really analyze and look at where the various parts of the body are and the appendages. And I mean, it's funny because I've seen decorative things with weedy sea dragons on them, and I'm so critical. I'm like, they don't have enough appendages, and this appendage is in the wrong place, and that needs to be over there. And I'm like, oh, yes, I actually think about those things.
I'm attaching the seaweed to the base of the sculpture. A lot of the materials that we've used have been assembled by volunteers in our workshop, and these are the smaller bits and pieces of plastic that were saved. Like we might have cut something larger, and these are all the scraps, so we try not to waste anything. We've been using trash cans, crates. These are parts of a crate that was cut up.
For about 5 years, I have been saving something, trying to figure out exactly how I would use them, and here they are. My collection of scuba flippers. These are going to be the appendages. So I have to do a little bit of shaping, a little addition on some of these, but basically, you know, that's going to work out. So I've been trying to design these appendages so that they all relate to each other, but they're all different. The blue and the yellow fins have these types of shapes, so I'm trying to emulate that by putting these on top. This I think is part of a paddle, and miraculously we got 2 of these. We get a lot of hangers that come in, flip-flops. The main appendages up on top of the head are, and the back of the head are these, the blue ones, the blue base. And I've actually added more bright colors on the ones on the head and the back of the neck because it's relating to the head, which is really bright. This one I'm really excited about because I've used this little chain, and that's kind of fun. When you see something so exotic and so bizarre, it makes you remember that we don't know everything, and not everything's like us, and you know, pay attention to what we're doing so we can protect the area that these creatures live in. So at this point I have to look. I basically started from the snout and worked my way up on this beast, and I'm not sure why, but that's what I ended up doing. And I was playing around with a bunch of different ideas, and I thought, well, I really love this, and I know they don't have tongues, but I just wanted to use it because it made it have personality. And then I liked the depth of this piece over that, and I decided to add the shininess and the reflectiveness of the water bottle over the top of those. Now, I didn't realize how round their eyes are and how many different layers of folds and things they have around their eyes, so that really interested me. And I also realized the materials I'd picked out were really too small proportionally, so I ended up using a lid that was larger than the floats that I had originally picked. And then if you notice in this photograph, you can really see the outside lens, the outside of the eye there and the lens. So I thought that's fantastic, so I really needed to make sure I emphasized that. I layered in a gas can. That's the trick with this kind of work, is that you can't really sketch it out. You have to use your supplies as you're sketching, so things change. This is part of an orange chair, I think, that came in. You could sort of see various parts. I had it cut into 2 pieces, and they do have these wonderful spikes, so I was trying to see if I could figure out how to use these on here. This is the door to my studio, and I walk by here all the time to get to the main building. And as I walk by and I see things, sometimes they give me ideas, and so I just kept walking by these, and I kept seeing these bright yellow buoys, and I kept thinking, I should use those somehow. I'm going to use those to put the fins on. What I decided was, because it's on a curve, I was going to have to make individual parts. So what I've done here is I cut off the bottoms, and I put this inside, and then I drilled holes and stitched this through. The idea is, ooh yeah, I think that'll work. If you calculate the actually picking up of the garbage, and you save it, and you wash it, and you sort it, and you scrub it, and you cut it, and you drill it, and you put the stitching through it and all that stuff, it takes about 6 months of labor. The funny thing is that I wasn't sure how big it was going to be until I started getting all my materials together. So I thought it was going to be maybe 12 feet long, and then it turned out about 20 feet long. It kept growing. The finishing up, I did a lot of it I had to do once the head was on, and the transition from the body to the neck and all that. Because you have to look up into him so much, I put some things in here that you can really recognize. Added quite a bit more red into these fins because I felt I really needed to relate more back to the body. That's really what Washed Ashore is all about, is getting people to see it, getting them to talk about it, and finding solutions to reduce our consumption of plastics. So, that's really the hope. I mean, you can have fun with it, you can laugh at it, you can get excited about it, you can, have fun looking at it, and then go, why are there so many combs on the beach? And why are there all these water bottles on the beach? And all these bottle caps were found on the beach. I mean, that's because they floated in from the ocean, and they're not supposed to be there.